Okay, we'll add now, Chairman.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining Nelson Area Committee tonight, Monday, 2nd of November 2020. Can I have apologies first of all, please?
I've had apologies from Councillor Adam.
Right. Anybody else?
Yeah, I've just had a phone call from Councillor Hammer. He is trying to get on with his phone, and hopefully he'll get on here at some point.
That's fine. Thank you. Can I ask everyone to declare any interest that they might have on any item on the agenda? I do have a couple of items where I need to declare interest. First one is item 6 on the agenda, second application for Midland Street, Nelson, and agenda item 14.
Chairman, can you give me the reason for your declaration, please?
The first one, the planning application, the land belongs to my brother's wife. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Well, I won't be taking part in the discussion at all. And the second one is agenda item. It's a house in my company's name.
Okay, that's under the private and confidential. That's all I need to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Chairman, do you want me to do the attendance record?
Please.
Okay, thank you. If you can just, when I shout your name out, if you can just say if you're present, please. Councillor Nadeem Ahmed.
Present.
Councillor Zafar Ali.
I'm here.
Thank you. Councillor Amma. But you may turn
Here.
up. Oh, you're here, thank you. Councillor Ansar.
Here.
Councillor Aslam.
Yes.
Councillor Cooney.
Present.
Councillor Henderson.
Present.
Councillor Iqbal.
Present.
Councillor Mahmood. Councillor Mahmood. Councillor McGowan.
Present.
Councillor Saqib.
Present.
Councillor Shaw.
Present.
Councillor Tennant.
Present.
Councillor Wicks.
She's here, Jen, but I don't think she can hear us.
Oh, right, okay. I'll put her in attendance. Mr. Emery.
Yeah, here. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sarwar. Okay, that's fine. Right, thank you, Chairman.
Right. Item 2 on the agenda is public question time. We do have 2 speakers, Mr. David Wells and Zulfi Khan. David, do you want to come in first, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for letting me into the meeting. I have a question regarding the planning application for the proposed erection of the 3-storey office building, multi-storey car park, 45-metre mast and the 2.4-metre boundary fence on the recreation ground off Carr Road for the Lancashire Police Authority. There is a covenant on the land which was made in 1887 between the vendors of the land and the Nelson Board, which prevents the erection of any permanent buildings or structures without the consent and approval of the vendors, heirs, executors, administrators and assigns. Also, the land, when it was purchased by the council, it was part of the Nelson Local Board Parliamentary Bill of 1886, whereby the council agreed that the land should be assigned absolutely free to the use of the public. When considering the planning application, will the council honour the covenant and agree to abide by the conditions of the parliamentary bill by rejecting the application?
Is there any more questions, David? Yeah, because you will
No,
not
no,
be given the right.
that's my one question. Thank you.
Okay. Can I ask Alex or is Julie with us as well?
Yes, through you, Chair. The covenant on the land is a civil law matter. It's separate from the planning system, and the planning permission wouldn't affect the covenant, and the covenant wouldn't affect the planning permission. And so they're two completely separate matters. Again, with the other document that you mentioned, that wouldn't be something that would affect a planning application. The permission was granted last month, so it has already been determined.
Yeah. Anybody else wants to say anything before I move on to the next speaker?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I've got my hand up, if that's okay.
Sorry, I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, just thank you for the gentleman for asking the question. As Alex has just mentioned, the planning application has already been approved. These concerns were raised at the meeting previously, particularly in terms of that this piece of land was allocated for use by the public, and the issue regarding the covenant on the land has been raised previously as well. But as Alex has mentioned, in terms of the planning application, it is a separate matter. But I think there were concerns raised by myself and some other councillors as well, that we weren't totally satisfied with approving the application at the previous meeting, and we wanted a deferral. But that's history. It's been approved. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Can I bring this second, Mr. Zulfi Khan?
Chairman, Mr. Khan's here on a different item on your speakers list.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So how do you want to deal with this? Do we just leave it till, items. Sorry, I missed that. Item 15 and 16. So he'll come in. Yeah. So, okay, that's fine. Item 3 is minutes of the last meeting.
Moving, Mr. Chairman.
Second that. Amended that I was at the meeting, please.
Yeah.
And can it be amended that I was trying to get through, didn't get the code to get through to the meeting, please?
That's fine, it's that.
Thank you.
Everyone happy with that? Right, I'll take that, yes. Item 4, progress report.
Move it be noted.
Chairman, I've just got a question.
Yeah.
Sorry, just give me 1 second.
Right.
Sorry, I've dropped them. And what I've done with it. So, are we all right to come back to it or not?
Not like solicitors to drop papers.
Just have a quick look. Have a quick look.
Don't know what I've done with it. Sorry about this, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, sorry, Mr. Chairman, I've got it.
Right.
I was just going to ask about the reopening up of the High Street, because we agreed that there's going to be a loyalty scheme introduced for shoppers, but with the announcement of lockdown, it's going to affect most of the businesses. How are we going to deal with that now? Are we still going to go ahead with the businesses that will remain open, or are we going to look to spend that money in a different way? Because we allocated, I think it was nearly £12,000 to this scheme.
Can I ask Councillor Iqbal if you have any updated information, being leader of the council, or Julie,
Yeah,
maybe
just
yourself.
in terms, I mean, Julie can come in. Just in terms of the High Street money, Chairman, clearly as a result of the Prime Minister's announcement on Saturday, the reopening of the High Street in effect has been put on hold. So the funding will have to be reviewed by the subgroup that was set up by this area committee. I mean, clearly the interest of the council is that we're going to use that money, but there'll be a conversation with government to say, look, we're not able to use it fully up to the run up to Christmas, but if the lockdown ends on the 2nd of December, my hope is that area committees, where they're committed to reopening the high streets, will work with the local traders to make sure that people shop local. So in terms of Nelson, people in Nelson shop in Nelson to try and boost what little time will be left leading up to Christmas, which I'm sure Mr. Emery, is, on behalf of the Town Centre Forum, is really anxious about, because the lead up to Christmas is usually the busiest time of the year for a lot of businesses.
Yeah, I'm not sure if anyone can answer this, but was there a time limit on when we had to spend this money by? I can't remember.
Possibly March.
Was it March? Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine. That's fine.
Okay, let's move on to the next item. That is police issues. Jen, do we know if anybody is here from the police?
No, we've no police present this evening.
Right, okay. Then we move on to planning applications. First application we've got in front of us is front and back dormers at 166 Leeds Road, Nelson. This application came to us last month with a flat roof dormer to the front mainly, and it was delegated approval. We granted delegated approval with the change of the roof design, and the owner has come back saying he doesn't suit him and makes the room smaller, and so I'll ask Councillor Iqbal, being the ward councillor and the proposer last month, if he can come in and...
Thanks for that, Chairman. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I had a conversation with the applicant as well following the recommendation at the last area committee meeting. The reality is that by the time the pitch has been put in, there'll be hardly any headroom left in terms of size to what the actual applicant wants. So on that basis, I think I asked you to bring it back to the area committee, and I'd like to move the recommendations for approval on the application as it's actually set out. I know normally as an area committee we prefer pitch roofs, but there are other examples across the town where we've accommodated applicants in terms of size issues. So, Chairman, I'm moving that we approve this application on the basis as the applicant has made.
Yeah, I'll second that from the chair. Anybody else want to speak, or can we go to vote? Yeah, let's go to vote. All those in favour of approving this application as set out in the plans? Jen, do you want to take the names down, please?
Yes, I can do, Chairman. If you're for the application, say for. If you're against, say against. Councillor Ahmed.
For.
Councillor Ali.
For.
Councillor Amma.
For.
Councillor Ansar.
For.
Councillor Aslam.
For.
Councillor Cooney.
For.
Councillor Henderson.
For.
Councillor Iqbal.
For.
Councillor Mahmood.
For.
Councillor McGowan.
For.
Councillor Saqib.
For.
Councillor Shaw.
For.
Councillor Tennant.
For.
Councillor Wicks. I think we're struggling with Councillor Wicks, so that is unanimous anyway, that the application is approved.
Yeah, thank you for that. Jane, can somebody else take over the meeting now for the second application, please? And how will I know when to come back in? Is somebody going to ring me?
I'll ring you, Saqib.
Yeah.
Right, okay then.
Okay.
Chairman.
Eileen needs to chair this as the vice chairman, but as she can't see the screen, do I have somebody else who will chair the meeting?
Can I recommend Councillor Iqbal, please?
Okay.
Okay, colleagues. So this application is here because the applicant is a relative of Councillor Sakib's. I mean, the report's there before us. I'd like to move the recommendations as set out. Do I have a seconder?
I'll second that.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you, Eileen. Jane, do you just want to go? Is it easier if we just say, is there anybody against the application? If you speak up now, please.
Yeah, that will do. Thank you.
Sheila Wicks.
Is now joining.
That's fine. I don't think there's anybody against.
I don't
Jane.
think there is, no.
That's fine. So that's approved. If you just bear with me, I'll ring Sakib.
Thank you.
I'm going to log back on, Jed.
Right, thank you. Item 7, enforcement unauthorized uses.
Chairman, there is.
Chairman, can I move
6B,
item
the appeals.
6B?
Sorry, have I missed
Chairman,
item
I'll move
B?
item 6. Yeah, I'll move item 6B for noting.
Right, sorry, I missed that. Yeah. Yeah,
Second that.
that's fine.
Can I move
Can we
item
move
7
on?
as well?
Everyone happy with that? Item 7? Let it be noted. I'll take that as yes. Item 8, capital program 2020-21.
Chairman, it's just for noting at this stage. Obviously, we'll get a full report next month, and then we can consider where we spend the £1,000.
I'm happy with that. Anybody wants to come in? Right, okay, thank you. Item 9, highways matters. Chapel House Road, Nelson, traffic calming measures. Can I ask one of the councillor from that ward to come in? I suppose.
Yes, Chairman, can I come in?
Yeah, Councillor Zafar Ali.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. With this one, I have been trying to work with Scott Worley, that is, in trying to move this project forward. I understand there's some regulatory issues with regards to the advertisement of the design and layout of this particular measure. There's no issue with funding. Funding was obviously approved one by this area committee, I believe, alongside obviously Nelson Town Council rather. We're just hopeful that the project can, see some fruition in the near future. Other than that, I don't know if there's anything else you want me to assist with, but project is in full swing, but due to the pandemic, there's obviously no timescales being provided by the officers either in relation to when the advertisements can go out for the design and layout of the traffic calming measure.
Can I ask Julie if you have any information on this?
No, I'm afraid nothing further than is already in the report. It's just other workload, I think, really has just delayed this. As Councillor Ali says, we don't anticipate any problems. It's just a timing issue.
Right, okay. So that's fine. We will move on to item 10, land adjacent to 194 Halifax Road, Nelson. Again, Councillor Zafar Ali, this is your ward.
Yeah, it is my ward, Chairman. I'm hopeful, and I'm hoping rather for members to, shed some light in relation to some history with regards to this land, whether or not officers are aware of a possible interest in future, and what that interest may be. Is it being earmarked for development purposes or not? Is it possible to give some further, or shed some further light on what's intended here?
Julie, can I ask your wisdom, please?
I can come in on that. This site has previously been brought forward by officers for development. When it went to committee, though, that the planning application wasn't successful. It is something that we may wish to reconsider in the future. The resident at 194 Halifax Road had approached the council due to problems that they were having with vehicles of theirs on the highway and sort of damage and theft of vehicles, and asked to buy this small area of land adjacent so that they could get off-road parking in a garage there. And the engineering managers confirmed that that wouldn't actually impact at all on future development of the site if it was agreed to go ahead and there was a planning application submitted in the future. So the recommendation in the report is to recommend that Policy and Resources allow the land to be declared surplus and sold.
Right.
Okay. Councillor Anthony, may I come in on this?
Jane, can you help me, please? I can't see anybody raising hands, so if you can see someone.
Councillor Ansar wants to speak, and then Councillor Ahmed.
Okay. Councillor Ansar?
This land, it's the only piece of land left in the Cloverhill and the joining areas of King's Causeway and Briarfield. It has been a long, ongoing thing where they've been saying for years that they want to build on the land. Under the circumstances that we're in at the moment, I don't think we should be making any decision on this land. It should be kept where it is, in council control. We have lots of areas for schools and schools for the future. There's no open space at all. I'd strongly recommend that this land is not put for surplus to stock and remains where it is at the present moment in time. Thank you.
Councillor Ahmed. Councillor Ahmed.
Yes, thank you. I hear what Councillor Ansar's just said. My question was going to be more for Julie in terms of the future development of the site. Is this likely to have an impact if we do agree to dispose of this small piece of land? Is this going to have an adverse effect on any future development for this site?
Right. Through you, Chair, the engineering managers confirmed that this small area of land wouldn't impact, and there's still sufficient space to get access to the site if it was agreed by the council wish to bring it forward in the future.
Councillor, can I ask? Yeah. Who was that? Councillor Zafar Ali or Iqbal?
Yeah, it was myself. Yeah, if Iqbal wants to come in, I'll let him come in, and I'll come in at the end.
No, it's okay.
No, Chairman, I don't have any contributions to this particular debate.
Okay.
Councillor Mahmood wishes to speak.
Councillor Zafar Ali first.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. I want to second the view of Councillor Eileen Ansar. I did open up the debate for that same reason, because I wanted to understand the extent of the future plans with this piece of land. Councillor Eileen Ansar is absolutely right. The land itself is open to fabulous views. People are obviously trekking up there for walks, etc. And I don't agree with any the possibility of future development on that particular part of this land. The circumstances may well change in the future, but at this present moment in time, I don't think the council should be proposing, or rather moving to propose this as being surplus to requirements. So I want to second Councillor Eileen Ansar on this.
Chair, could I just come in and clarify on this?
Yeah.
Yeah, just so members are aware, the bit of land that we're talking about in this report is the small area adjoining 194 Halifax Road. The hatched area on the plan is just the bigger area that has already been declared surplus. So the report just relates to that very small black sort of triangular area just adjoining number 194, not the whole site.
Mr. Chairman, can I move an amendment, please?
Just 1 second. Let Councillor Mahmood Ahmed come in. Councillor Asjad Mahmood, sorry.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Yeah, no, I think that explains. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think Julie's kind of explained and alleviated my kind of fears. I'll be happy to move that small section. Move the recommendation of the report. My concern would have been because there's a big field behind there, which there could be like some kind of further development or whatever kind takes place. If the bigger hatched area, if that was included in this, I think that would have. I wouldn't have supported that because that would have had a major impact on access and other things for that site. So if it's just a very small land adjacent to that house, happily support that.
Councillor Nadeem Ahmed.
Yeah, happy to second that, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I think the report's perfectly clear. It's just that small triangular shape right next to 194. And if you look at the rest of the access, it seems the access is sufficient for any future development of the site. Because if you look on the access, it actually does narrow a bit further on anyway. It's narrower than the main point. So I don't think it's going to have an impact on the future development. And the advice we're having from officers is also the same, that they don't believe it's going to have any impact. So I think I'm quite satisfied and would be happy for this little piece of land to be disposed.
Okay. We've got two proposals, obviously, now.
Sakib,
yes.
I haven't got a problem at all with the small parcel of land that you're on about on the plan. There's no issue with that. The only issue I have is the fact that they've put surplus to stock on land that I wasn't aware of it's been done, and I'd like a report back to the council, to this council, asking when it was done and who was present at the time.
Eileen, are you in favour of declaring that bit of land surplus to requirements, or you saying
yes, I
that we
haven't
shouldn't?
got a problem with that.
Okay, and you had obviously seconded, Councillor Zafar Ali.
Yes, Chairman. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Did you have a question?
Are you guys?
Chairman?
Yeah, I'm just making sure that we have only one proposal now to declare a bit of triangle, that area which is marked obviously in the dark black pen, declare that area surplus to requirements.
Yeah, I think Julie's explanation, I obviously have misread something myself in the papers, but if Councillor Eileen's happy now with the explanation, I'm happy to move as well.
So we've got only one, obviously, proposal on the agenda now.
That's correct.
Yeah. And that is obviously that now. So is everyone happy with that? That we declare the bit of area of land surplus to requirements, or recommended to policy and resources if that is the case in these days? Recommend to members. Yeah. Everyone happy with that? Yeah, I'll take that. Yes. Thank you for that. Item 11, items for discussion. Right, first item for us to discuss is Back Street at rear of 231 to 243 Every Street, Nelson. Can I ask one of the two councillors from that area to comment? It will be
Chairman,
one of you
yes,
guys.
I've put that item on the agenda.
Right.
The reason I've put it on the agenda is because I received a petition from some residents who posted a petition through my letterbox, and that prompted me to put it on the agenda so everybody is aware of it. And they're just requesting that the back street be looked at in terms of its condition. I know at the moment there isn't any funding available to do the back street, but I like that to be considered at a future meeting as and when.
Okay. Councillor Mahmood, do you want to have a say, or are you happy with that?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'll second that, and I'm happy to support the scheme once the funding is available. I know there's quite a few other requests from Whitefield residents for different back streets. So I think this obviously will have to, like it's on basically like on first come first basis. So we'll have to prioritise in that sense. But I'm happy to support it and have it on the list of requests that we've got from Whitefield. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Item 11B, public toilets.
Chairman, sorry, can I come in 1 second?
Yeah.
I understand many applications and requests do come in from not just Whitefield, from across Nelson, and it's a budget issue. But I do genuinely believe, I think back streets, if they are to be resurfaced, if that's the approach of this committee, then I think rather than first come, first serve, I think they should be done on which back streets are in the worst condition, which are in urgent need, rather than first come, first serve. Because we could have, I don't know, let's say 5 back streets from across different parts of Nelson, but they might not be in that bad a condition compared to some other back streets where a request might come in at a later stage. So my approach would be, or suggestion would be, I know it's for the committee to decide at a future date, but it should be based on whichever back street's in its worst condition.
Yeah, I think that's a good suggestion, but we'll look at it when we have the funding. Anybody else wants to have say on that item? No. Next item is public toilet facilities in Nelson Town Centre. Who wants to take lead on this? I do want to have say in it as well.
Who's put it on the agenda?
I've done it. I thought maybe you guys might be interested. Right.
Oh, you take the lead, Chairman.
I'll take the lead. Yeah, no, I'm happy with that. When the public toilets were sold, we were told that we can use the toilets in A Centre, Morrison's, and other places, like on the centre. Issue is, so if somebody goes to A Centre now, and they tell them that them toilets are for the use of the users of the A Centre, not for public anymore. The under centre, admin centre, whatever you want to call it, that's in public ownership, and it's not looked after properly, to be honest with you, and I'm not aware even if it's opened in these days or not. And they won't obviously spend any money to clean the place, obviously, during this the virus obviously we've got going. Morrison's, that's to the side of the town centre, and not very many people go there when they're especially doing any shopping on the other side, on Railway Street side or so. So, and what I witnessed a couple of weeks ago, it was really disgraceful. Somebody just pulling her trouser down, a little girl, right at the traffic lights, and because she was desperate to go to toilet basically, and she just, did the job basically on the footpath, and it was disgraceful. I think it is our duty to provide some sort of facilities, whether, whatever we say, whether we don't have money, how we're going to maintain it. We've got Nelson Town Council, we've got Nelson Area Committee, and we've got Pendle Council. This being the biggest town, there got to be some way we can sort this out. I know the public toilets have been sold, one in Market Street. There used to be another one where Tesco is. No, Tesco is? What is there? No, I guess. Just let her know. Home Bargain. Home Bargain is there, and that's been demolished as well. I'm not sure what the solution is, who will pay, where the money will come from, but it's just something I like to see, something done. There should be public toilets available somewhere in the town centre. So I'm seeking guidance from senior councillors, Councillor Nadeem Ahmed and Councillor Iqbal. If you have had any reports, anybody coming to you complaining, then maybe you can share your experience.
Yeah,
Mr.
Chairman. Sorry, go on. Whoever that is.
Mr. Chairman, can I come in on that, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there not toilets in the bottom of the market hall? There's two public toilets down there that are council run and council owned. So there is a facility in the centre. And if they're closed, could you tell me why they are actually closed?
Can I ask Nicholas Emery to put some, light on this, if he's aware of anything, or if the shop has complained?
I've been asked many, many times why there are no toilets in the town centre, and as you say at the beginning, when the council closed them down, they were given, we're all told, and they put signs up in the town centre that the Ace Centre, like you say, the Arndale and Morrison's were available, and like you said, the Ace Centre toilets were abused by drug dealers, so they wanted them out, so they refused to let general public in. In fact, I was told last week that the council have decided to close the Ace Centre and made everyone redundant. I know 3 people who work in there, and they've all got their notices. So what's happening there? I have no idea. We haven't seen anything in the newspaper or anything publicised. Why can we not buy back the toilets on Market Street? They've been empty now 2 or 3 years. If they haven't used them so far, whoever's bought them, can we not have them back? I've thought planning applications had to be completed within 3 years and they did not put planning application to convert it into a flat or something daft. So if they haven't done that within 3 years, can we not get them back? I mean, it's ridiculous. 21st century, no toilets in a town. When I was a child, there was a public convenience on just about, well, I can probably name half a dozen at the top of my head. Gentlemen's toilets, as they were called then. There were not many ladies' toilets, I don't think. But they were on every other back street. Well, not every other back street, but there were plenty in the area.
Yeah.
And now we're in the 21st century, and we might as well be in the Stone Age, for what facilities we've got. I'm told by the shopkeepers in the Arndale Centre that the management there are absolutely useless. They don't put toilet paper in even the staff toilets. So I'm told the public side, the public toilets are pathetic as well. I've not been down to have a look myself. And as for, like you say, Morrison's, the other side of the town, if you're caught short in, or if you're desperate, even in the bus station, I'm not even sure there's any toilets in there anymore. So, yeah, it's a desperate situation. And I think, like I said, in the 21st century, we should have at least one toilet in the town centre. And all being sold off just to save a few bob here and there. It's come back to bite us, hasn't it? Or it's come back to bite those who decided to sell them off. I mean, what expense is there to maintain the toilets on Market Street, apart from having someone lock them up? What expense is there? They're already there. There's not a lot of maintenance involved, I wouldn't have thought. But anyway, I've said my bit. I don't know what else I can say about that. Thank you.
If I can remember right, it was merely saving of £3,000 to £4,000 a year. That was the basic. And I never agreed with them, and I just couldn't understand. Councillor Nadeem Ahmed.
Yeah, I think the views seem to be quite strong in terms of having some sort of facilities in and within the town centre. So my suggestion would be, at this moment in time, for a report to come back with some ideas. I know previously when we decided to close the toilets as where they were, it was because of, as you've mentioned, in terms of facilities being available at the Ace Centre. But the situation has changed since then. So I think we do need to have another look at this again, and some ideas coming forward as to what is the most cost-effective way of providing these facilities. Like you said, if you in the town centre with your children, you mentioned the young baby and child who needs facilities. it's really problematic. So I think a report coming back with some ideas, and then we can have a discussion and a debate at the next meeting.
Is there anybody else who wants to come in? Jane?
Councillor Iqbal would like to come in.
Councillor Iqbal.
Yeah, thanks, Chairman. Just a few points. I mean, can I just first of all clear up what Mr. Emery said about the Ayres Centre? The Ayres Centre is not closed. The council haven't made a decision to close the Ayres Centre. It's currently leased to the Leisure Trust. And in terms of the staff members that you're talking, they are actually Leisure Trust staff members and not council staff members. So, but I can reassure Mr. Emery that the Ayres Centre is not closed. In terms of Mr. Emery's point about when he was a lad not that long ago, that there were plenty of toilets in the town centre. I mean, Mr. Emery no doubt will concur with me that when he was growing up, and certainly when some of us were growing up after him, that some of the antisocial issues that were going on in the toilets in the last few years certainly weren't around at the time when either Mr. Emery was growing up or certainly when I and others were growing up in the town. And it's a sad reflection on the minority in the town, not just in Pendle, but across the country for that matter, that when the council at the time voted to close the toilets back in the early 2011, I think 12 it was, in terms of the whole of the toilets across Pendle, there was provision provided, but Mr. Emery's right that the ones that were provided in the Ayres Centre, they were there for the use by the public, but sadly they were being used by other people for other purposes, and it wasn't fair on those staff in there to be faced with those type of issues. I concur with what Councillor Ahmed is saying in terms of let's possibly explore having a conversation with the owner of the former toilet blocks next to the town hall, because Mr. Emery is right that there was a planning application, and he said a daft planning application put in to build flats there. That was actually refused by the council. So maybe there's a conversation to be had with the owners whether they would consider selling them back to somebody to reopen as public toilets. But let's have a report to explore that, Mr. Chairman. But clearly there is more than just simply opening up and locking the toilets and just simply changing the toilet paper. Somebody has to clean them, and in this current climate they need cleaning on more than one occasion a day. But let's have a report to either the next meeting, the meeting after, to see what options are, and then see who's prepared to put into the kitty to reopen them.
Jen, is there anybody else?
Can I come in on that, Mr. Chairman, please?
Yeah, go for it.
The toilets in the bus station at Nelson, they were closed altogether. In the beginning, you had to put 20 pence to get in. Then they closed them all together. And the young man was going to go in them the other day to move this barrier that was there. And they said, you're not allowed to go in there. So why aren't those toilets open to the public? On Burnley bus station, there is ladies' toilets there, are spotless and clean. There's toilet roll and there's music playing. Come on, let's be serious. There is a way we can open some toilets, surely.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Jane, is there anybody else that want to chip in?
Councillor Ahmed still got his hand up. Do you want to come back in, Councillor Ahmed?
No, apologies, an old hand, sorry.
Okay, no, there's nobody else, Chairman.
So can we ask Jane that a report comes back to us in the near future meeting, and then we'll look at it again.
Okay,
right. Thank you. Item 12, 60 to 92 Lonsdale Street, Nelson resident only parking scheme.
Yeah, they're just for noting, Mr. Chairman. Can I move 12 and 13 together?
12 and Holly Street as well, and 13 with exclusion. 13. Consider excluding the public health person. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Anybody against that?
Chairman, do you want to take your speaker before you do anything else? Because it's a private and confidential item, and then we will have to close the meeting to the public.
Okay.
So if you want to ask Mr. Khan to speak first.
Mr. Khan, are you still there? I can't see you.
Oh, he's coming back
Yeah.
in 1 second. He's coming back.
Right, okay.
Mr. Khan, are you still there?
We'll give him a couple of seconds.
He is there.
Mr. Khan, are you there?
Muted. Yeah.
I am here. Good evening.
You've got 5 minutes, Mr. Khan. Go on, tell us
No problem.
what the issue is.
Okay, so we've got an ongoing saga with the chimney burner on Every Street, UK Cabinets Limited. It's been going on since last December. I've just had a meeting this afternoon with Michael Duck and Will at the council to provide a witness statement. I was told at the meeting that irrespective of over 14 residents providing witness statements, the entire case, any abatement notice being sent to the tenants, any civil case will all depend upon council officers themselves witness the smoke. And also now there's been a lot of dilly-dallying by the council officers, by the authorities coming in and giving the landlord, giving the tenant umpteen number of chances because of COVID, etc., trying to get his business off the ground and all the rest of it. We've had 2 residents complain about the burner in January of this year, which was pre-COVID. Those complaints have not been followed up at all whatsoever. We feel extremely frustrated. I'm speaking on behalf of over 36 residents within the area. I've been emailing Philip Moosdale, who's head of legal. Nadim Ahmed has been copied into that, as has Michael Duck. A lot of residents have obviously appointed me as the spokesman. We are wondering what the situation is and how long we are going to have to tolerate this antisocial and, quite frankly, probably bordering illegal behaviour. The tenants had absolutely no respect for not only the residents but the councillors themselves. The council officers have been out. Michael Duck's been out umpteen number of occasions. Friday night, this week, last week, just gone, Michael Duck visited the premises again, asked the tenant not to use the burner. Lo and behold, yesterday morning, the burner's back on again.
Well, thank you very much for that.
Would you allow me to speak on the cash and carry as well, Saqib?
Well, anything at all. You've got a couple of minutes. Go for it.
Okay, so in terms of the cash and carry, I've made a little bit of a list. It's initially opened up, apparently open direct to commercial trade only. Give it 4 or 5 weeks of opening, they've ended up starting to trade with the public. I've got a number of issues here. I know planning being read tenancy and parking spots on the forecourt. Already there manufacturing bed headboards or bedspreads of some sort. They've got 3 of their own heavy goods vehicles in addition to their own staff vehicles on that forecourt. There's been no consultation with the residents by the council or any council officers. No letters have gone out, no notices on the lampposts in the vicinity. We've got a significant traffic increase already due to the mosque that's opened up on Manchester Road, and soon there will be the UKIM mosque as well. We've got a cash and carry that's been rejected on Milton Street, which was in the former Palatine building, which I've been told by numerous councillors this was against council policy. So I believe we should have the same rule and regulation applied to this cash and carry on Every Street. We have also got numerous residents directly across the road from the cash and carry having objected. We've had an increase in rat infestation. I've got video evidence of this. We've taken a photograph on Friday after 3 p.m. and basically there is over 25 cars parked in the vicinity of the forecourt. I will very briefly, you're not going to be able to see much of it, but there is a photo there of all the cars parked. One of those cars is completely abandoned, and the gentleman or the lady who's in the car, the people carrier in the side street, has literally just left it there, blocked the road and gone into the cash and carry to do her shopping. The MPV, the Vauxhall Zafira coming out of Lime Street, is coming out on a blind bend, show complete disregard to not only the residents, but again, there's been no planning permission applied for at all in the initial stages. He just assumed because we get it granted, and what we are now living with is an episode of the Wild West.
That's fine, Mr. Khan. We hear you. Alex, can you help us with this?
Yes, through you, Chair. There is a current planning application in for the cash and carry. So that, because we've received 3 or more objections, that would have to come to committee if it's going to be approved. So that may be before committee at some point. But at the moment, it's a live planning application. So any concerns in relation to that should be put in writing to us. As comments on the planning application.
What about the other issues? Obviously, the smell from the burning and or anything. Is the planning department taking any action for that, or?
That's a matter for environmental health. Julie Whitaker may want to comment on that.
Would you like to come in, Chair? I noticed Councillor Iqbal would like to speak. Should I come in after Councillor Iqbal?
Please, Councillor Iqbal.
Thanks, Chairman. First of all, in terms of the planning application that Alex has alluded to, I mean, clearly that will be coming to committee, I assume, next month or the month after. And I mean, just for councillors' benefits, I know we may have something to say, but what I'd urge councillors to do is not to comment on that, because otherwise that may prejudice your decision at the planning meeting. So because you sit on that as a quasi-judicial role. So in terms of the cash and carry and the planning application, Chairman, Mr. Khan's right in terms of the issues that he's raised. But I would urge colleagues not to talk about the planning application tonight because it's not before us. In terms of the issues that he's raised, he's kept me in the loop, and I think in terms of the smoke issues, there was an abatement notice issued either last week or the week before, and Julie will have the details by our officers. The report makes mention to that and makes mention to the conversations that officers have had around that. So that is in the process of being sorted, and prosecutions will be taken against anybody that offends or contravenes that abatement notice accordingly. But in terms of the cash and carry bit, Chairman, I just needed to alert councillors, and Mr. Khan's a legal himself, as is Councillor Ahmed as well, and Councillor Ali, that what I wouldn't want any councillor to do, irrespective of what their views are, is to comment on the planning application because it's not before you tonight. But the report is self-explanatory in terms of the other issues, Chairman, and I get the residents' frustration. I've heard it at first hand. I've tried to informally mediate. Clearly that didn't work. And I would urge council officers to proceed to prosecution where appropriate.
Jane, can I seek guidance here? Should we actually, is it being broadcasted now? This our meeting on YouTube, or when do we go?
It is at the moment, but if you you need to decide if you want to close the meeting to public and press. But as you've started this in public, I think you need to finish the discussion in public now.
Right, okay. Julie, please comment.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Yes, as Mr. Khan says, he's been giving witness statements. We are collecting witness statements at the moment from a range of residents in the area, and the environmental health team are preparing a prosecution file. Obviously, it has taken some time. That's partly about making sure we have enough evidence that we're happy that we can get a successful prosecution if it goes to that stage, and also because of obviously the work that the team have been doing on COVID-related work. But a lot of time and effort has gone into this, and we are moving as fast as we can to move towards prosecution.
Right. Okay. I think, Mr. Khan, as you heard everything, so we're looking into it, and we'll deal with it.
No
definitely.
problem.
And
Chairman, can I come in?
Sorry, Councillor Nazim Ahmed, I couldn't see your hand, so yes, please.
No, it's
go
fine.
for it.
Yeah. Just the two separate matters. Firstly, in terms of planning, obviously we have to be careful in terms of what we can and can't say, but obviously we do have a report before us which has been published, and we need to comment, but in a careful manner. But I think in terms of the planning application which has already been submitted, am I right in saying that's coming to the next meeting? Can I just
Alex?
ask?
It isn't set for the agenda for the next week. I think it's likely it will be, but I can't say right now that it definitely will be. So it's too early a stage to say for sure.
Right. The reason being because the recommendations are saying that the owner be written to inform him to cease trading, and secondly, in the absence of any voluntary cessation, an enforcement notice be served requiring the activity to cease. And the reason I was asking how soon it's going to come is because it's no point starting this process in terms of writing to him and saying stop trading if it's going to come in a month's time anyway, because by the time we've written to him, we hopefully will have made a decision. But I think from what you're saying now is, I think it's only fair on the residents that them recommendations are approved, are set out, that the notice is sent out to the business owner, so at least it's put on notice from the council, because myself and I'm sure other councillors are receiving regular emails and telephone calls from the residents. I think we wouldn't be doing our duty as councillors if we didn't raise that issue. I totally understand that there's a planning application, but I think for the time being, I think perhaps the owners get sent a letter for what it's worth. But I think in the meantime, I think something needs to be done, because we have been made aware, and the report clearly states that they don't have planning permission, and we're clear on that point. So it's only right that the owners are written to inform them that they should stop trading from that site immediately. That's the first thing in terms of the planning. Can I now also go on? Do you want to come on back on that, Alex? Do you need to come in, or is that okay?
Well, just to say that any enforcement letters that are proposed to go out are to do with the environmental health side of things, not to do with the planning. So that's not a judgment on that it's unacceptable from a planning point of view, and so that the application is still to be determined and still to come to committee.
Sorry, I don't follow. Are you saying we can't send the notice?
No, I'm saying that the notice would be sent under separate legislation.
Yes, I understand that. No, because they're two separate issues.
So they're two separate things.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, I think it's only right. I don't think if we say that, I don't think we're doing anything to prejudice our vote at a future meeting, because the report's clearly outlining from Neil Watson that they don't have planning permission. So if they don't have planning permission, they should be told to stop trading. And residents, like I said, have been, myself and I'm sure Councillor Aston as well, and Councillor Iqbal have been contacted by residents on numerous occasions. Can I now turn on to the other issue in terms of the smell and the noise the nuisance that's been caused from the premises in terms of the burning? I think this has been going on for far too long. It's been nearly a year. I understand things slowed down because of COVID in March and gathering the evidence. I get that, but this was 3-4 months prior to that, when residents were complaining to the council. The residents weren't listened to as they should have been. There's been numerous complaints from residents, and I think the report that's before us doesn't do justice to the residents, I'm sorry to say, because if you look at some of the comments within the report, I'll give you an example. And the report does acknowledge that the first complaint regarding the black smoke from the chimney came back way back in January 2020, and we're in November now. It says officers visited the site. By the time of the visit, there was no evidence of smoke. Yeah, there won't be, because they were doing it when officers had gone home, or they were doing it at different times, or by the time the officers arrived on site, the smoke, they had burned whatever they were burning, and that had stopped. In terms of, there's a comment in the report about witnesses not coming forward to give statements. That's factually incorrect. I'm personally aware of a number of residents who have actually contacted the council and have actually been pleading with the council to take statements from them, whereas this report is actually saying, oh, well, there is no residents coming forward to give statements, which is not correct. Because it says here on page 2, whilst we are continuing to receive complaints, some of the residents are unwilling to provide witness statements. And whilst we have witnessed the nuisance on several occasions, supportive evidence from residents will strengthen the council case. I don't understand in terms of the comments that were made previously. I can't remember who by saying, in terms of witnessing by members of the staff, it's absolutely clear the staff have actually witnessed the nuisance being caused. So we've got the statement from officers and we've got the statement from residents. That surely is sufficient for a prosecution. Can I go back to in terms of the recommendations, Mr. Chair, can I move an amendment to the recommendations I set out? Recommendation 1 states that the position be noted. Yes, that's fine. Recommendation 2 is saying that environmental health continue to monitor the odour nuisance from the premises. Can I add the following wording, please? And obtain statements / evidence from residents as a matter of urgency. And recommendation number 3, that the prosecution file is completed and passed to the legal department. Again, just adding the word as a matter of urgency. I'd like to just move them 2 amendments, please, to the recommendations. Thank you.
Julie, do you want to come in?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Yeah, just to confirm, obviously, this report was written a week or 2 ago because the Timescales Committee, and as Mr. Khan said, that, I mean, he's been giving witness statement today, and I'm aware of, I think it's either 3 or 4 statements being taken this week. So I think at the time this was written, we hadn't got those witness statements, but that's now coming in. So we're on with that. So things have progressed in the last week or 2 since this report.
Anybody else?
Chairman, can I just clarify that with Julie, that point, in terms of, I understand now you're mentioning in terms of the statements from residents. We have got concrete statements now from officers who have witnessed the nuisance. Am I right in that, Julie?
Yes, we have now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Anybody else? Yeah. Councillor Sidman.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, I echo everything that's already been said. I won't repeat most of the comments, but I think generally, again, residents have been in contact with me. And this has been going on for a very long time, and also requested that I go back to this committee. I mean, there have been times when, in relation to the smoke, fire brigade have been called out on a number of occasions because residents thought that the building was on fire. The smoke fumes have been so strong that people and the residents around there have been forced to close their windows and doors, and also the UPVC windows have discoloration because of the fumes. And that's it's having a major impact on the residents' health. And I move, well, I think it's already been moved, but I also second the recommendation that what we do is the prosecution file is completed and passed on to legal for further action, and that this is dealt with as soon as possible without a delay. In relation to the other item, again, most of it has already been discussed. Again, I move the recommendation and enforcement notices under the different legislation is taken. Again, this has been going on for a while. Again, residents have raised these concerns. A lot of evidence has been gathered in with both items, and I think it's time for some action and some peace for the local residents. So I also move second these recommendations in the original report. Thank you.
With the addition of a couple of words to recommendation to.
Yeah, I mean, a lot for Jules kind of explained. I think, I mean, I'm happy for that. You know, all this evidence that's been gathered. I think for further witness statements, I'm happy. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, happy for that.
Anybody wants to add anything to this, or can we go to vote? Can
Chairman,
we acknowledge?
Chairman, apologies, sorry. Can I add another recommendation, please? Recommendation 4, to write to the owner of the business to stop any of the burning with immediate effect. Because the way I'm looking at it is, the reason for that is because it's going through a legal process. And my concern is it's already taken nearly a year with COVID and the backlog of court cases. I'm just concerned that possibly we might not get a court date for a while, and we can't let the residents suffer any more than they already have. So I think if the owner is told to stop with immediate effect any further burning and using of the appliance that he does.
Yeah, that's fine. Is that Jane? Have you got that?
Yes, Chairman.
So he's obviously changed the recommendation 2, 3, and now he's got the recommendation 4. Is everyone happy with that? Yeah, I'll take that as yes. Can we now exclude the public and the press, Jane? If you stop broadcasting.
Yes, that's being done as we